when the game replaces reality. All living beings awaken a system and gain extraordinary powers. But I became a loser without a system. Everyone told me to go back to being a security guard. It would save me 20 years of wasted effort. But I kept praying and burning incense every day, hoping to awaken as soon as possible. My girlfriend thought I'd gone crazy and ran into the arms of the rich kid, Chisai-kun. But nobody knew I'd awakened. The one and only hidden profession, wishing master. Only by praying for 888 consecutive days could I activate it. And today is the last day. Just as I finished my prayer, the long-lost system notification suddenly sounded. Level plus 10. All attributes plus 50 unlocked. The unique hidden class, Divine Wishing Master. Current skill, Snow Doll. Summon an ice doll and form an ice shield. Thundercloud, summon a cloud that calls down lightning and taunts, causing the target to lose control. 3-second blink. Instantly teleport anywhere within 3 meters. As soon as I returned to the main city, I heard 2 voices beside me.
Hey, isn't that Sky Pepper?
Where did you go to burn incense this time? Liu, don't say that. Even pet dogs don't want to play with him anymore. Hearing this, the people around burst out laughing. My expression didn't change at all. I walked straight toward the level 10 world dungeon entrance. These people followed me just to see me make a fool of myself. They all trailed me to the dungeon entrance. But I didn't care at all, because they can't beat the weaklings in the level 10 dungeon. Even if they all came at me together, they wouldn't make a dent. As soon as I entered the dungeon, a group of skeleton soldiers rushed at me. The ones in front had long blades, and the ones in the back had mage staffs. I activated the Snow Doll skill. A giant ice shield formed in front of me, blocking the sword wielders. The mages took the chance to cast Fireball at my ice shield. I immediately used the Thundercloud skill. Lightning from the clouds zapped the skeletons into ashes. I continued exploring deeper. Used Thundercloud again to wipe out 2 more waves of skeletons. Deeper in the dungeon, only a dark cave remained. I jumped in and 2 eerie blue lights instantly shone. A giant ancient dragon slowly rose up. It flapped its wings, ready to take off. I instantly used the taunt skill. The ancient dragon went out of control and swung its huge claw at me. I hurriedly summoned an ice shield to block. Meanwhile, the dragon regained consciousness. It flew over my head, ready to dive down. I immediately blinked away. The dragon locked its gaze on me. I activated the Thundercloud skill. Bolts of lightning struck the dragon. Then I taunted again. The dragon charged wildly into the clouds. Then lightning gathered and struck the ground, leaving only a charred mark behind. A world announcement sounded. Congratulations to player Sky Pepper for clearing the world dungeon. New world record. 5 minutes 12 seconds. Reward received. Ancient Dragon Set. Set effect. All stats plus 20. Thundercloud skill. Unlocked derivative skill. Thunderstorm. Control and detonate lightning energy balls. I put on the set and teleported out of the dungeon. The players who originally wanted to watch a joke now looked at me like they'd seen a ghost. Damn, he's a real master. Anyone know him? Isn't that the guy who never awakened the system? How did he clear the dungeon? Some female players gazed at me seductively. Appa, I know 72 skills. Teach me. Lisi was still unwilling to accept it. What's the big deal? If I went in, I could do it too. People nearby burst out laughing at his words. Yeah, right, keep talking. Last time you failed and lost a level. Instead of leveling up, you're just causing trouble. Hearing that, Lisi blushed deeply. He quickly left the area. I immediately headed to the level 15 Sevenwood Forest to grind levels. Just as I got to the entrance, I saw 2 people chained up. 2 giant apes were leading them along, and they looked at me like a new toy. Their expressions were strange as they eyed me. I instantly blinked behind the giant apes, summoned 2 thunderballs and shot them at the apes. The apes didn't even try to dodge. The thunderballs exploded. Only scorched ground was left, and the 2 people looked at me. Amazed, I took down the apes so easily. Hero, please save our captain. He's become a punching bag for the apes. I was planning on grinding here anyway, so I agreed to lead the way. We walked forward along the path. Soon we saw a group of apes ahead, pummeling someone tied to a giant tree. 3 giant apes sat in the tree watching the show. I blinked closer, summoned an ice shield in front of the captives. Then I used taunt on the ape group. All the surrounding apes charged at me. I summoned Thundercloud again. Lightning rained down on the apes. But the apes were only slightly hurt, so I summoned 3 huge thunderballs. The thunderballs absorbed lightning and got even bigger. Then the thunderballs exploded. The nearby apes and the big tree were reduced to ashes. The 3 rescued people stared wide-eyed. I walked up to the 3 of them. One stepped backward, then fell over and started crawling away. "Don't kill me," he cried as yellow liquid ran down his pants. "Get lost, I'm grinding here." 2 days later, I reached level 14. All attributes now at 88. Gained the skill. Scan. Can detect targets within 2 meters. I headed deeper into the 7-wood forest. Suddenly, blue light appeared beneath my feet. In an instant, I was teleported into an arena made of flesh and blood. A samurai knelt in the center of the arena. A crimson greatsword sat before him, deeply embedded in the ground. Suddenly, red light flared from the samurai's eyes. He grabbed the sword and charged at me. I immediately tried to use blink, but it didn't work. As the blade was about to come down on my head, I used the snow skill. The dole appeared instantly. The ice shield blocked the attack, but it shattered quickly. I dodged to the right to avoid the attack, while the samurai turned quickly, gripping his sword and lunging at me again. I summoned another ice shield and dashed right. System, think of something. If I use thunderstorm this close, I'll get hurt too. Plus, I can't blink here. The cold system notice sounded. Host is detected to be in danger. Granting a system upgrade patch pack. What the hell, a patch pack? Damn, why not send it sooner? I cursed it out the system's parents. Then opened the system pack. Gained fortune trait. Receive 1 random trait every day. Congratulations, you received a golden trait. Defense plus 5,000. Holy crap. At that moment, the samurai lunged at me. His strike landed on me, but I took 0 damage. I grabbed the samurai's hand and used thunderstorm. A giant thunderball exploded, making him stagger back. But he immediately charged at me again. I quickly summoned 3 thunderballs and fired them at him. The samurai dodged quickly, then charged straight at me again. When he got close, I summoned a giant thunderball and detonated it between us. The samurai was severely injured and collapsed to the ground. I approached him and continued to use thunderstorm. I wiped out his health bar instantly. Then a cold mechanical voice rang out. Congratulations to player Kinshinjio for clearing the Wandering Samurai dungeon. Gained 5,000 experience points. Reward received, Samurai's Longsword. 5G/unlocked. Next quest, defeat the 7 sins. The final sin, envy. Suddenly, my vision turned completely white. Images began to appear in my mind. The samurai was once a heroic figure famed throughout the land. One day, he saw a poor little girl out in the wild. The samurai's kindness drove him to help her. The little girl led him by the hand. They entered a dim-colored house. Suddenly, after a flash of bright light, only the final scene remained. The samurai knelt on the ground. A long sword was embedded in front of him. The little girl turned into a hideous and vicious monster. She laughed wildly. Then the vision faded away. I buried the samurai at the edge of the arena, in the dense forest outside. Rest in peace. Then I teleported out of the dungeon. A world announcement sounded. Congratulations to player Kinshinjio for clearing the hidden dungeon. Title awarded. Dungeon Excavator. Title attribute. All stats plus 15. Players who heard the world announcement were dumbfounded. I can't believe there's this kind of dungeon in the main city. Did I miss something by just grinding levels? Kinshinjio's really lucky. He just cleared the world boss, and now ran into a hidden dungeon. But his strength is truly impressive. The boss of the hidden dungeon is just as tough as the world boss, maybe even stronger. People who used to be pushed around by everyone are now suddenly heroes everyone looks up to. I had no idea that clearing the dungeon would cause such a stir outside. By now, I've reached level 15. My total stats are now at 125. Right after, a system prompt sounded. A special quest for the Wishmaster class has been issued. Quest location: Main City Trial Arena. Quest objective: obtain the title of First Finisher. Reward: Wishmaster Sword. since players can only stay in the newbie city for one day. I went to the trial arena. By now, the arena was packed with spectators. But there weren't many challengers on stage. It's just that the trial arena has sky-high strength requirements. So very few players succeed in the challenge. Right now, a player is in the middle of a challenge.
It's the famous genius CHU fan.
Standing before him is a giant man, 3 feet tall, wielding a massive axe. 5 flying sword projections hovered behind CHU fan. He fused the 5 flying swords behind him into a giant sword and attacked the giant man in front of him. The giant swung his massive axe forcefully. The sword projection shattered instantly. CHU fan failed the challenge. The voices of the audience below rang out one after another. Can you believe it? Even Master CHU fan couldn't withstand the 10th challenger's assault. Seems like only Master Luo Ming from 2 years ago could pass. Not necessarily. Isn't there a new top player called King Shinjio lately? Maybe he can reach stage 8. You mean the one who set the new main city boss world record? King Shinjio? I heard he also cleared the only hidden dungeon in the main city recently. But just relying on him to clear the trial arena won't be easy. That's when I stepped onto the trial arena stage. A world announcement rang out. Player King Shinjio has begun the challenge. The crowd got even louder. That's King Shinjio. He doesn't look that strong though. I made my way to the center of the trial arena. The massive brute from before glared at me with disdain. You skinny monkey, you want to challenge me? You're dead meat. The giant axe slammed onto my body. But with my defense module active, the damage I took was still 0. I immediately teleported behind him and unleashed Thunderstorm. Explosions echoed throughout the arena. The giant cried out and fell to his knees. Then his huge axe slipped to the ground. I unleashed 5G slash on the giant's legs. His legs were cut off in an instant. He sprawled on the ground. I instantly teleported in front of him and released my last Thunderstorm right in his face. The giant's health bar instantly dropped to 0. I took him out in one combo. The audience was dead silent. Everyone's eyes were glued to the stage. I chose to continue the challenge. But whether it was humanoid snake monsters or 3-headed hounds with pointy heads, none could do me any harm. I easily defeated them all. The crowd outside had already gone numb. No one shouted with excitement anymore. They all kept their eyes fixed on me, the cheater. Until the last trial guardian appeared. A small child hovered above the ground, covered in tattoos and about 1 meter tall.
He raised his hand and summoned a massive thundercloud.
The cloud released lightning, countless bolts striking toward me. I was stunned. Isn't that my own first-level skill, Thundercloud? Turns out this little punk is here to shine my shoes for me. I then summoned 5 giant thunderballs and absorbed all the lightning. The thunderballs grew even bigger. The little guy was shocked as he looked at me. He immediately dismissed the thundercloud. But the 5 thunderballs had already grown huge, about 50 feet wide. They charged straight at the little guy. He tried to run away in a panic, but was still swallowed up by the thunderballs. The audience below was dumbfounded. Their mouths were wide open. What the hell, is that guy even human? He cleared the trial so easily. Then came another world announcement. Congratulations to player King Shinjio for achieving the title. First finisher. Title bonus. All stats plus 30. Congratulations to player King Shinjio for completing the exclusive Wishmaster Mentor quest. Reward. Wishmaster Sword with unlimited storage space. Under the stunned gazes of the crowd, I slowly left the trial arena. I had just entered Light City when a middle-aged man in a blue suit came looking for me. He was none other than the famous vice president of Shanghai, Tang Qihua. Qin Tianzhao, I see you ranked first in the trial arena. I want you to participate in the guild war tomorrow for me. Then I realized someone had their eye on me. Tang Qihua patted my shoulder. The participation reward is a rare skill book, so you might be interested. I raised my eyebrow in feigned confusion. Why choose me?
Tang Qihua chuckled softly.
I want to know what secrets you're hiding. In just 2 days, you've gone from a nobody to a legendary player everyone talks about. If you want to come, find me at the Shanghai Guild. With that, he turned and left. The next day, right after I woke up, the system prompt rang out in my mind. Ding. Destiny attribute changed, luck minus 500. I had to resist complaining in my mind. Damn it, what kind of system is this? Even these ridiculously bad attributes? But the system had already delivered the reward. There's nothing I can do to change it either. The top priority right now is to find Tang Qihua. So I went straight to the Zhanhai Guild. But as soon as I walked in, countless cold, hostile stares locked onto me. I've long since gotten used to scenes like this. So without fear I shouted, "Assistance Master is here." Do any of you cowards have a problem with that? Everyone around me immediately stared at me like I was an idiot. They gathered around, laughing and discussing. Just then, an unbelievably beautiful figure entered the guild.
He walked over and reached out his right hand to me. Hi.
I'm Deputy Guild Leader Xia Mumu. I heard you just got first place in the trial arena. Before Xia Mumu could finish speaking, I suddenly grabbed his right hand. His delicate body trembled. Wow, you're really strong. Your muscles are amazing too. If you have time, could you teach me someday? As soon as he said that, everyone around us instantly shot jealous looks our way. Xia Mumu shyly glanced at me. I'm pretty strong myself. Would you be willing to team up with me? I nodded to show I agreed. Just as I was about to say something, a notification tone suddenly echoed through the hall. The guild war is about to begin. All group members, please enter the arena. Under everyone's envious gaze, I walked side by side with Xia Mumu into the teleportation array. After the teleportation light faded, I realized I wasn't sent to the defense point. Instead, I was in the middle of a desert. I quickly used a skill to scout the area. My heart instantly sank. My teleportation coordinates were tampered with. That means the deployment map has already been leaked. At the same time, 20 figures appeared atop the surrounding cliffs. Every one of them was above level 20. They occupied all the high ground on 4 sides, blocking off all my escape routes. Their leader was a level 25 Thunder Mage. He looked down at me and ordered, "Attack." With that command, 20 skills were launched at me at once. Fire rain, ice hail, wind blades, lightning bolts. They even lit up the whole sky. I quickly summoned an ice shield to block, but it only lasted for 2 seconds before shattering. That block absorbed most of the attack. The remaining shockwaves sent me flying. My back slammed against the rocky cliff. Blood streamed from my forehead into my eyes. Damn it, you've got 20 people, and that's all you got. You still can't kill me. Just wait to get killed by me. Those 20 guys across from me were still barking even though I was badly hurt. They launched an even fiercer joint attack at me. The next second, I teleported to the edge of the nearest high slope. I not only dodged all their attacks, but even flipped them off. You little punks. Teaming up is all you can do. Even to fight a noob like me, you have to gang up together. Just how weak are you guys? As my words fell, I summoned a huge thundercloud above them. Bolts of lightning poured down on the crowd like a thunderstorm. The crowd immediately cast spells to defend themselves. When the smoke cleared, only 3 of them were down. Seeing the others were about to attack again, I quickly called to the system in my mind. "System, can't you do something for once?" The system notification sounded. Ding! Host is detected to be in danger. Skill activated. Last stand counterattack. All skill damage increased by 200%. Meanwhile, the enemy Thunder Mage raised his staff again. Just as I was about to summon another thundercloud, a dark gold shield suddenly appeared in front of me. The lightning crashed fiercely onto the dark gold shield, then faded out. I was startled. Looking up, I saw Xia Mumu's graceful figure land in front of me. With a worried look, she helped me up. "Are you alright?" I shook my head at her words. "I'm fine. Where were you teleported to?" Xia Mumu coldly scanned the ambushers around us. "I was sent to the age guard point. But you weren't there. After that, I used my vice president privilege to teleport to you." As she spoke, a beam of golden light shot from her palm and merged into my body. My wounds were instantly, mostly healed. At that moment, a burly guy wielding a battle axe charged forward, lightning rapidly striking at me. I teleported in front of Xia Mumu. "Don't worry, I'm here. They can't hurt you." With that, I fired a lightning ball at the burly man. The ball instantly pierced through his chest. The 16 remaining enemies were all dumbfounded. The last stand counterattack buff surged wildly inside me. Xia Mumu behind me widened her eyes in surprise. I straightened up. 16 left. Are you all coming at once? Or lining up one by one? The Thunder Mage's face went completely dark. Impossible. What level are you even? Who the hell are you? I brushed the dust off my clothes. What level I am doesn't matter. What matters is, you bunch can't even beat a bottom feeder like me, and still have the nerve to live. Die. With that I raised my right hand, and a lightning ball as big as 50 feet formed in my palm. The air within 10 meters around me twisted. The Thunder Mage waved frantically to his teammates in terror. Don't cluster together. Spread out. But before he could finish, the enormous lightning ball in midair split into several thunder dragons, which instantly lunged at the 16. They didn't even have time to scream. Before the lightning swallowed them up, I teleported next to Xiaomumu, wrapped my right arm around her waist, and we returned together to the H-guard point. Everyone there saw my hand around Xiaomumu's waist, and were instantly crushed emotionally. How dare this brat? That's my goddess. Maybe she actually sees something in him. Otherwise, why would the goddess team up with him? As Xiaomumu heard everyone's gossip, she finally realized I was holding her waist. Her cheeks turned red. Embarrassed, she gently patted my arm. There are a lot of people here. Let go, okay? If you really miss me, we can find somewhere private later. I let go, smiled at her, and turned around, looking at all the guild members at the H-guard point. What's up? Don't recognize your top player. At that moment, a cold notification chimed. Ding! Congratulations to the Warsia Guild for winning. Teleportation will now commence. Right after, a flash of white light crossed my eyes. Back at Warsia Guild. A wave of exhaustion instantly swept over me. I cursed it inwardly. This isn't good. I must have overexerted myself summoning those thunder dragons. That's why I'm totally spent. Thinking of this, I just wanted to squat for a bit to rest. When everything went black before my eyes, and I collapsed unconscious. When I opened my eyes again, I found myself lying in a medical room. My entire body was wrapped in bandages. I propped myself up on the bed. At this moment, Xiaomumu pushed open the door and came in. Seeing I was okay, she couldn't help but let out a long sigh of relief. You're finally awake. The guild leader wants to see you. I nodded at her words, then got up to follow her to the main hall. As we walked through the hallway, lots of Warsia Guild members stared at me. The taunts and contempt from before had completely vanished. In their place was awe and fear in their eyes, and a deep jealousy. How did this punk get so damn lucky? And actually make it back alive? Damn, my poor goddess Xiaomumu, teaming up with such a loser. I ignored their words and headed straight to the center of the hall. At that moment, Tang Qiwa was sitting in a chair, leisurely sipping tea. In front of him, the communications officer responsible for teleport coordinate calibration was kneeling. Tang Qiwa saw me come out, put down his teacup, and smiled at me. You handle it. I walked up to the officer, looking down at him from above. You changed the teleport coordinates and leaked the defense map. The officer nodded guiltily. It was all me. No one else was involved. I watched his reaction and became suspicious, judging from his reaction. He doesn't seem like the mastermind. Someone must be pulling the strings behind him. Thinking of this, I slowly turned to look at Tang Qihua. He stared at me, teacup in hand, his eyes full of contempt. Seeing this, it all made sense to me. So, the real culprit who had me teleported to the wasteland was Tang Qihua. Most likely, he just wanted to test my strength. So he set up the whole situation today. Even though I'm not strong enough to stand up to him yet, I'll get payback sooner or later. Tang Qihua saw I didn't say anything else, so he had his men drag the officer away. Then he got up and circled me. You must be hiding something. Join our Warsia Guild. I took a step back and calmly shook my head. Tang Qihua let out a cold laugh at me. Refuse me and you'll stay right here. At that moment, Xiaomumu stepped in front of me. The president will join us. Let him go. Tang Qihua stared at Xiaomumu for a while, then reluctantly nodded. Then join us when you're ready. Remember not to leave Guangming City, or this skill book promised to you. Tang Qihua tossed the skill book to me. I caught it and slowly walked toward the guild entrance. The guild members around me looked at me with mocking eyes, sizing me up. I pretended not to see them, and quickly walked out of the Shanghai Guild. Then I glanced down at the skill book. I saw a line of small print. Gravity manipulation. Can manipulate gravity within a 5-meter radius. Control the direction and magnitude of gravity. I gripped the skill book tightly. I had only one thought: I need to get stronger. Strong enough that no one dares to target me again. With that thought, I headed straight to Thunder Valley. I originally wanted to venture deep into Thunder Valley to find some high-level monsters, but suddenly dozens of electric fang wolves appeared ahead of me. A whole pack of electric fang wolves lunged at me. I immediately activated my skill. Gravity manipulation instantly pinned them to the ground. They struggled in pain for a moment, and eventually lost all signs of life. The next instant, the system notification sounded in my mind. Ding! Congratulations, host! Level up to 23. World quest unlocked. Protect the fire seed of the End Valley. After the system notice finished, a teleportation array appeared at my feet, and I was instantly teleported to the End Valley. As soon as I stepped into the valley entrance, the smell of blood hit me in the face. There were corpses all over the canyon. This scene immediately made me realize someone was slaughtering. I followed the bloodstains deeper into the ravine and saw a man standing in front of the corpse of the purple gold Wolf King. Blood was still dripping from his fingertips. I activated my probing skill, but couldn't sense any of the man's aura. Seeing how powerful he was, there's no way I could afford to provoke him. I immediately hid behind a nearby hill, waiting for the man to leave, but he seemed to sense my presence and glanced back at me, but he didn't attack me.
He simply shook his head, chuckled softly, and disappeared.
After he left, I slowly moved up to the Wolf King's corpse and discovered beneath it there was a piece of purple crystal shard. Curious, I squatted down to touch it, and a memory fragment instantly appeared in my mind. In the center of a room sat a creature covered entirely in faces. Every face was writhing, each of them marked with jealousy. Meanwhile, a cold system notification sounded. Ding! Congratulations, host. Crystal shard absorbed. Level up by 2. Because the host failed to protect. Wolf King World Quest Challenge failed. No reward. The teleportation array under your feet lights up. I was forcibly sent back to Thunder Valley. But just then I noticed a figure standing at the valley entrance, before I could clearly see his face.
He darted toward me, gliding just above the ground,
swinging his palm straight at my throat. I immediately used Blink to dodge the strike, but he closed in on me again quickly. So I used gravity manipulation and amplified the gravity on him tenfold. His whole body froze up. A streak of purple light flashed on his arm. The tenfold gravity on his body was instantly dispelled. Then he put his arm down, looking at me. You have the scent of monsters on you, but you're not a monster cultist. Followers don't have abilities like yours. With that, he rushed at me again and grabbed my wrist. Purple patterns from his fingertips spread onto my arm. I felt a sharp pain. Instantly summoned 5 thunder orbs, forming behind him. Let go of me. Thunder orbs touched his back, but he still wouldn't let go, until suddenly from my arm, he pulled out a thread of purple silk. Only then did he release me, and I cancelled the skill. Thunderstorm, what the hell is that? He looked up at me. The monster planted something inside you. With that, he gripped the purple thread firmly. The thread writhed wildly, giving off faint sizzling noises. With his right hand, he squeezed hard, and the whole thread turned to powder. At the same time, his body suddenly swayed. I quickly reached out to steady him. Who are you? He rolled up the sleeve on his right arm, exposing his whole arm. It was covered with purple patterns, just like the thread earlier. It's alive. Number 3 lowered his head and raised his trembling hand. That thread lets the monsters track you. I don't remember who I was before. All I remember is the monster called me Number 3. I used to be a monster cultist. My system was devoured by it, and I was controlled by the monster. Golden Lion saved me, this corpse. But he's still consuming me. I stared into Number 3's pained face. Why are you helping me?
He leaned against a tree, panting.
I want to see if you're worth it. I'm betting. I stared into his eyes. Who is the monster you're talking about? Number 3 gritted his teeth, staring fiercely at the arrogant void. After a short rest, I followed Number 3 northward, until we stopped at the edge of the rib bones. Number 3 slowly squatted down and pressed his hand against the ground. The purple markings on his arm spread from his palm into the ground. The ground was actually warm. Then he brushed away the layer of ash and dirt on top. It's blood. We kept moving forward to explore. Soon we saw rows of living people lying on the ground. Blood dripped from their wounds. The blood flowed in grooves toward one direction. Then, from the gray mist across the pit, a bald man appeared. On the back of his hand was a purple crystal, just like the one under the Wolf King's corpse. Meanwhile, the crystal on the bald man's hand suddenly lit up. His hands turned into purple claws, and he charged at number 3 like lightning. I instantly blinked in front of number 3 to shield him, then activated the skill Snow Shadow Doll. An ice shield instantly formed, but it was shattered immediately. The bald man swung his claws at us again. I instantly used gravity manipulation. The gravity on the bald man increased tenfold instantly. He was pinned to the ground, unable to move. Then I unleashed 5G slash at him. The bald man was cut in half by the blow. I then took the crystal from the back of his hand. A cold system notification sounded. Congratulations, host, for absorbing the full crystal. Level up by 5. The skill Snow Shadow Doll evolved into Ice Mastery. You can freely control ice magic. The skill Thundercloud evolved into Thunder Mastery. You can freely control Thunder Magic. The skill Thunderstorm disappeared. Blink skill range upgraded to 5 meters. The Taunt skill evolved into Senseless Operation. The Detect skill changed from active to passive. Range, 10 meters. Current level, 30. All attributes, plus 300. Number 3 shook me in shock. You can actually absorb crystals. I pressed his shoulder, pointed to the passage on the ground. We'll explain later. Let's save people first. Both sides of the cages were packed with people. Number 3 smashed open all the cages. After talking to them briefly,
He walked over to me, head lowered.
they've lost their systems. Even if we save them, they won't survive for long. Saying that, he punched the wall. Damn bastards. Afterward, I had everyone gather in the open space at the center camp. Number 3 was responsible for counting everyone. I stood high up looking over them. You're free now. But they stood there blankly, lost. Each of them had already lost their minds. Right at that moment, the ground around us began to shake. A crack opened in the northern horizon. From the crack crawled out an enormous bloated figure, a silhouette covered with mouths. Number 3 stepped back, his voice trembling. Gluttony is here. The next instant, all the many mouths on Gluttony's body opened wide. Those mouths generated a massive suction force, and I was pulled in. Everything around me was engulfed in darkness. I summoned lightning. Then I saw I was surrounded by sticky, fleshy arms, and countless corpses and remains. Suddenly, I saw an arm, with a crystal shard on it. I immediately got up and reached for the crystal shard. A cold system notification sounded. Ding. Congratulations, host. Crystal shard absorbed. Level up by 1. Then I continued to explore inside Gluttony's body. It was even bigger inside than I had imagined. The flesh arms were studded with crystals glowing with a dim purple light. I absorbed all of the crystal shards. Then a cold system notification sounded again. Congratulations, host. All crystal shards absorbed. Level increased to 55. All attributes plus 700. Destiny tag skill evolved with a new feature. Random tag stats can be redrawn once per day. Destiny tag cooldown completed. Black tag obtained. Luck minus 700. Redraw. Congratulations, host. Reroll successful. Gold tag acquired. Luck plus 1000. Suddenly the flesh walls around me violently shook. The tremors slowly subsided. Number 3's body fell in front of me. His body was like a candle that's gone out, already completely faded. I crouched in front of him and let out a sigh. Brother, I'll avenge you. I stand up. I walk deeper into the fleshy wall. Soon I see a door. I reach out and try to push the door open. But suddenly, I feel disconnected from the system. I desperately call for the system, but no matter what, there's no response. At the same time, the door suddenly emits a dazzling purple light. I feel myself being taken to an unfamiliar world. Countless memories flood into my mind. 7 figures kneel before me. They shout their welcome devoutly. Wishmaster. In the next moment, another memory fragment emerges in my mind. This time, I collapse on the ground. The wound in my chest gushes outward. Bathed in purple light, the 7 figures surround me, greedily absorbing the purple light emitting from me. My body gradually disintegrates. Memory fragments rush toward me once again. My body turns into points of light, scattering all over the earth. Every living being receives my power. The first person to obtain divine power saw the system panel. Those 7 figures came to earth. In order to obtain divine power, they became the 7 deadly sins, corrupting people's hearts, seizing people's systems to absorb my power. When the vision fades, I finally understand the whole truth. I am the chosen one, the agent of God. I must destroy the 7 deadly sins and reclaim my divine status. With that thought, I call for the system once again in my heart. System, I know you won't disappear so easily. Come back. In the next moment, my chest splits open. A burst of golden light erupts from within. Next, a familiar cold mechanical voice rings out. Ding! All systems activated successfully. Wishmaster's power restored to 5%. All attributes reach 5,000 points. Feeling the earth-shaking changes within me, I raise my hand and conjure a thunder dragon, aiming it at Gluttony's flesh arm. A tremendous dragon's roar echoes throughout the Thunder Valley. Gluttony's flesh arm is left with an enormous bloody hole. At the same time, Gluttony's miserable scream rings out. I slowly walk out from the hole. I see Gluttony's obese body, trembling helplessly. Wishmaster, this is impossible. I slowly raise my right hand. 9 golden dragons burst from the atmosphere, charging toward Gluttony. Hundreds of his mouths let out ear-piercing shrieks simultaneously. But before he can finish his words, the 9 golden dragons tear him apart. His body shatters into massive purple light, fusing into my body. At the same time, the system prompt sounds. Ding, congratulations, host. You've slain Gluttony. Level up by 25. Current level, 80. Luck increases by 1,000. Additional 2% Wishmaster power restored. Congratulations, host. Wishmaster's power restored to 15%. All attributes reach 15,000. Feeling the incredibly powerful strength inside me, a figure in a blue suit flashes across my mind. Tangjiwa, wait for me to find you. As soon as I stepped through the gate of the War Sea Guild, I felt several mocking gazes fixed on me. It's all your fault, you loser. The moment we left Light City territory, you caused my goddess Xiamumu to be imprisoned by the guild leader. And you still have the nerve to return and seek death. With those words, everyone in the hall clenched their teeth in anger. Xing Tianzhao, how dare you come back? Prepare to die? With those words, several people rushed toward me with clenched fists, just as their fists were about to hit me. Tonkiua came down the stairs. I thought you had run away. I didn't expect you'd actually have the guts to come back. Hand over the secret, and I'll let you live.
Hearing this,
The mockery in everyone's eyes grew even stronger. Even the guild leader said so. This kid is dead for sure. Letting him die so easily would be too good for him. Everyone believed the outcome was set in stone. What can a bottom dweller like him possibly do? Of course he should kneel, then thank us gratefully. I looked up at him. Are you done? Not only did Tankiwa's smile freeze, but everyone around was stunned too. No one expected I'd dare speak to Tankiwa like that. Tankiwa glared at me coldly. Who do you think you're talking to? I stared into his eyes and chuckled. Just a corpse. With that, I floated into the air. I used the skill gravity manipulation. Everyone in the hall was forced to the ground. Tankiwa glared at me, his eyes bloodshot. Impossible! Just 2 days. How could you possibly gain such power? I looked down at him from above. Who do you think you're talking to? Tell me where Xiamumu is. With those words, I stomped hard on Tankiwa's head. Tankiwa gritted his teeth and looked up at me. I'll never tell you. Then I increased the gravity on everyone again. Countless small dents appeared on the floor. Finally, one member couldn't take it anymore. In the secret chamber at the back of the guild hall. Please, just let me go. I have elderly parents and children to care for. After he spoke, I increased everyone's gravity by another tenfold. In the end, their skulls were crushed. Then I found a secret room and blasted open the door with a thunderball. When the smoke cleared, I saw that familiar, beautiful figure. It was Xiaomumu. Her hands were chained up, curled up in the corner. I raised my hand and shattered the chains, then pulled her into my embrace. Sorry I was a little late. I'm sorry. Let me take you out of here. I gently patted her trembling body, and once she fell asleep, I carried her home. I carefully laid her on the bed, gently tucked her in. There's something I must take care of. Wait for me to return. I left the room and quietly locked the door. I arrived at Hope City. This is where advanced players gather on the continent. As soon as I got to the city gates, I noticed everyone around was discussing one thing. No one who entered the Valley of Mind Maze has come out. I had a feeling this was related to the 7 deadly sins. So I immediately headed to the Valley of Mind Maze. But just as I stepped into the valley entrance, the system notification suddenly sounded. Ding! Host has entered a special area. Mind Maze Valley area.
Effect.
All players in the Mind Maze will have their sanity continuously reduced. I walked along the small path through the valley. The area was filled with a thick fog. From the mist, monstrous flowers with human faces emerged. When they saw me, I put my hands together and summoned the golden shield. The instant the monster flowers touched the shield, their entire bodies turned to ash. The remaining flowers dared not approach. One after another, they spat corrosive acid at the shield. I raised my arms, summoned massive thunderclouds, and countless bolts of lightning struck the monster flowers. Soon the entire battlefield nearby became a lifeless wasteland. These monsters couldn't even give me experience anymore. I continued toward the center of the maze valley. A massive patch of 3-meter-tall man-eating plants appeared. They swayed their bodies toward me. I summoned an ice storm. Countless raindrops fell from the sky, and when they touched the man-eating plants, the raindrops crystallized into ice, which quickly spread over the entire plants, until all the man-eating plants became ice sculptures. At the same time, players in Hope City noticed that today's Maze Valley wasn't like the past. Countless players stood atop the city walls, staring at the distant sky. Beams of golden light shone on the Maze Valley. All the players were stunned. Is that a god descending? Come to save those who disappeared in the valley? Meanwhile, I kept moving deeper into the maze. On a blue stone ahead sat an incredibly stunning woman. Her tone was sweet and flirtatious. As she twirled her hair, "Am I beautiful?" I was affected by the maze's power, my head feeling heavy. Seeing my lack of reaction, she exposed her rounded left shoulder and elegant collarbone, and beckoned me over with her finger. "Big sister has something nice to show you." The power of the wish priest helped me gradually recover my senses. It was lust. She walked up to me, stood on tiptoe, and leaned in close to my ear. "Let big sis take good care of you. Is that okay?" As she spoke, her hand turned into a dragon claw, about to stab at my chest. I grabbed her arm and fired a thunder dragon at her face. She dodged to the side, but half her face was blasted off, revealing a ferocious, hideous appearance. "Men like you never know how to cherish beauty." She was ready to attack, but it was already too late. I pointed my right index finger skyward.
10,000 thunders annihilation.
Countless bolts of lightning rained down. At the same time, her expression froze instantly. "Wish priest, how can you still be alive?" As she finished, her body began to swell. Pink scales spread all over her skin. Lightning struck her, but her scales still managed to block the attack. Then I hovered in midair, golden light bursting from my chest, and 9 golden thunder dragons crashed into her. She screamed in terror. "No, I was wrong. Please spare me." The 9 dragons landed, smashing into Lust's head, and her body quickly exploded into fragments. Immediately, the system prompt sounded. Ding! Congratulations, player, for killing Lust. Level up plus 25. Level reached 105. Wish Priest's power restored to 27%. All attributes at 27,000. Skill Fate evolved to pure attribute bonus plus 25%. Skill Gravity Manipulation evolved to God's Pressure. Meanwhile, the players atop the city wall were all left speechless in shock. The 9 golden dragons in the sky left a giant crater in the Maze Valley. A large number of monsters scattered and fled, most of them running toward Hope City. High-level players in the city quickly gathered to resist the beast tide. Wind, Fire, thunder, and lightning skills of all kinds were unleashed. Most of the monsters quickly vanished. At that moment, a giant hand suddenly appeared in the sky above the city. A single large eye opened on the giant hand. All the players were stunned.
Holy shit.
Am I seeing a mythical event right now? What kind of aura is this? The next moment, a huge beam of light shot down from the eye. It shone over the entire Hope City. Hope City instantly disappeared. The remaining monsters, as soon as they touched the beam, instantly turned into smoke and vanished. Meanwhile, I heard a huge commotion from the direction of Hope City. I turned just in time to witness that scene. Even with my current power, I could hardly believe it. What on earth is this power? I have to get stronger. Then a beam of light appeared above my head. A silhouette emerged from within it. In an instant, it darted straight into my chest. All that was left was a tattoo in the shape of a Latin cross. Countless memories flooded into my mind. I instantly knew that giant hand belonged to Pride. Among the 7 deadly sins, he's the only one who absorbed most of my power. That's why he's especially powerful. With my current strength, I still can't resist his attacks. Looks like my only option is to go to the sacred land for help. But so-called sacred land is anything but sacred. The place is swarming with extremely high-level monsters. As soon as I arrived at the sacred land, I saw an endless gray-white wasteland. A gigantic centipede suddenly burst out from underground, baring its sharp fangs and charging at me. I instantly unleashed my aura of dominance. The centipede exploded into a bloody mist in midair. I brushed off the dust on me and moved forward. I saw a stone tablet next to the bridge ahead. Carved on it were the words, "Only those with light in their hearts may enter." I stepped right onto the stone bridge. Just as I reached the middle of the bridge, a dense black mist suddenly surged all around. Golden light instantly radiated from my body, driving away the black mist. At the same time, a golden portal materialized out of thin air. Behind the door stood a golden warrior over 30 feet tall. He spoke in shock. "Why do you have the aura of the divine sage?" I looked at him calmly. "Take me to your leader." Hearing this, he immediately turned to lead the way. I followed right behind. Soon I saw a massive palace appear. Everyone inside radiated a powerful energy. All their eyes were on me. An elder walked to the high platform at the center of the palace. He bowed deeply to the person sitting in the middle. "High Priest, the reincarnation of the divine sage has arrived." The whole place instantly fell silent. That man looked up at me. The cross tattoo on my chest shot a beam of golden light at his staff. He immediately stood up, excited. "Divine Master, you finally returned. We've waited for you for 300 years. I frowned. It seems that after I fell in my previous life, the flow of time in this world is different from what I experienced.
Tell Arrogance.
Where he is now? The High Priest's expression grew unusually serious. Arrogance has already taken over Skydome City. He's using his own power to corrupt the entire continent. We tried to take him down 3 times, but we failed every time. Out of our 3,000-member force, less than 100 made it back alive. Memories from ancient times flashed through my mind. I have a way to quickly boost their power. Deep in the palace, there's an inheritance pool. As long as you channel divine sense into it, anyone who enters will be greatly strengthened. With those words, I led the High Priest and others to a massive stone door. The Divine Master's power surged wildly inside me. I placed my hand on the stone door. The next moment, the door slowly opened. Inside was a dried-up pool, 10 meters in diameter. A golden ball of light formed in my palm. I merged it into the center of the pool. In an instant, golden liquid filled the pool. The High Priest trembled with excitement. "Everyone, go in by groups. Soak for 15 minutes each." 2 hours later, the warriors walked out of the inheritance pool. A faint golden aura surrounded every one of them. I raised my hand and pointed skyward.
Target. Skydome City.
With those words, I led them straight to Skydome City. We saw a giant city floating high in the sky. There were followers everywhere at the city gate. Each had a piece of purple crystal embedded in the back of their hand. The High Priest's face darkened. "Divine Master, these are all followers controlled by arrogance." Anger welled up in my heart. "Kill them all." The golden armored warrior was the first to raise his spear of light. He roared and charged ahead. Go, 2,000 warriors! Follow him! The golden armored warriors charged at the purple army. Skill effects lit up the entire sky. I floated in the air. Arrogance, show yourself! As soon as I finished speaking, laughter echoed above. Arrogance's figure descended from the clouds. Arrogance soon followed and emerged from the clouds. He spread 6 huge wings, each covered in eyes. He fired several beams of light at our army. The golden armored warrior raised his enormous shield, taking the front line. The beams of light forced him backward. Arrogance hovered in front of the city gate, looking down at me. What? You think with this sorry bunch, you can defeat me? With that, he waved his hand, and his army of followers charged onto the battlefield. The golden armored warrior was the first to break into the enemy ranks. He met the enemy head-on with blasts of light. Every sweep knocked down wave after wave of followers. But as the gold and purple flashed on the crystals in their hands, their bodies instantly healed up, and they kept charging at our warriors. The high priest desperately swung his staff, summoning a golden barrier of light, blocking the front lines. But empowered by the purple crystals, these followers resisted fiercely. I raised both hands, summoning dark thunderclouds above. Countless lightning bolts struck the followers, but there were just too many of them. None of this damage was enough to change the battle. The high priest rushed to my side. Divine Master, there are just too many of them. I looked up at Arrogance. He was now standing atop the city wall, firing a purple beam into the bodies of followers. Those followers' power surged instantly. Seeing this, I charged at Arrogance on the wall. He looked at me with utter disdain. So you finally made it. I almost thought you were just going to coddle these losers instead. With that, he beat his 6 wings hard, summoning a purple storm, and charged at me. I quickly conjured up a golden barrier. After one hit, Arrogance and I both stepped back. Then I gathered a golden ball of light in my right hand, which split into several as I hurled it at him. 10 tiny golden orbs surrounded him from all sides. Brilliant golden light swallowed up Arrogance. But moments later, he was standing there, completely unharmed. I glanced at the battle down below. The warriors were still fighting for their lives. We were at a disadvantage. This needed to end quickly. I pointed to the sky. 10,000 thunders annihilation. Release! Countless golden bolts of lightning rained down from the sky. The purple crystals on the followers instantly shattered. Arrogance's face changed dramatically. He suddenly spread his wings, shooting purple light to block the lightning. Seeing it didn't work,
He raised his right hand and offered a sacrifice to me.
the followers were annihilated. All the followers on the battlefield turned into purple mist. I looked at him coldly. Is this your trump card? Relying on the sacrifice of your own followers. So what if you win? He laughed maniacally. Followers? They're just tools. My power is the only thing that matters. Those words just faded as he flashed right in front of me, firing a dark purple beam at my head. I teleported out of the way, but the eyes on Arrogance's wings had already locked onto where I'd land. I raised my hand to summon a golden wall of light to block the beam. The next moment, countless dark purple rays blasted toward me. Just then, the cross tattoo on my chest erupted with golden light, forming 9 golden thunder dragons that charged at Arrogance. I pressed my palms together, sending the last of my power into the golden dragon. With a thunderous bang, the thunder dragon exploded. The shockwave instantly leveled everything around us. All 6 of Arrogance's wings were shattered. You think that'll kill me? Don't forget, I absorbed 70% of your power. The purple crystal in his palm glowed again, forming a portal. Divine Master, next time we meet, you'll be groveling at my feet. With that, he dove in. Right before the portal vanished, I quickly conjured a ball of lightning and threw it inside, feeling the heat from my cross tattoo. The Divine Master's power comes from everyone who believes in me. As long as someone believes in hope, my power will come back together again. As soon as those words faded, a system notification echoed in my mind. Ding! Congratulations, host, for mastering the Divine Master's essence. Skill acquired. Divine domain within a 50-kilometer radius. My allies receive a 360% power boost from Divine Force. Wish secret hope energy from all living things. Can be used to restore divine power. Divine Master's power restored to 50%. A slight smile curled at the corner of my mouth. Arrogance, next time we meet, I'll show you what true divine might is. Just then, a pale green figure slowly approached. It was Greed. I saw he was holding an apple in his hand. Am I late? How did Arrogance run off? I told you, people who are too full of themselves don't live long. Wishmaster, the 7 of us have absorbed humanity's most primal instincts. You can't destroy us, just like you can't destroy human desire. If you don't believe me, go ahead and try. The moment I heard that, I became golden lightning and dashed forward. I could feel the cross tattoo on my chest vibrating violently, but there wasn't the slightest panic on his face. In the next moment, the golden light around me vanished. I couldn't use even a bit of the Wishmaster's power. What's happening? Greed took a bite of the apple. Stop wasting your energy. I've already planted the seeds of greed throughout this royal capital. Every ounce of power in you is being drained by me. I want all your wish power. Your power comes from people's wishes for hope. How beautiful, how fragile. But when people stop believing in hope, it means nothing. I knelt on the ground, powerless. But just then, a faint wish power appeared behind me. It made the cross tattoo on my chest jump suddenly. The system's notification sounded again. Ding! Wishmaster's ultimate skill awakened. All wishes made by sincerity will resonate and turn into divine power. 847 people have established a link. The next moment, countless white beams of light connected me with the wishers. Greed's smile froze on his face. Are you insane? You linked your life with a bunch of commoners? I looked up at Greed. You're wrong about one thing. Hope isn't fragile. As soon as I finished speaking, all the warriors' wounds began to heal. Greed suddenly raised his hand to summon. A purple mist rushed at me. The white light instantly turned into countless threads of light. Wrapping around the purple mist, Greed took a step back. You're draining my power. I shook my head. Number. I'm just telling the power you took. It's time for them to go home. Hearing that, Greed turned and tried to escape. I raised my hand to the sky. The white light instantly became chains and slowly dragged Greed into my body. From now on, Greed will become the driving force for humans to move forward. The warriors stood frozen in place. The high priest was even crying tears of joy. At the same time, Arrogance fell to the depths of the underground palace. A lazy voice came from the darkness. You lost. Arrogance gritted his teeth. I just let my guard down. Then Extreme walked out of the shadows. You absorbed 70% of his power. And still lost. Why didn't you just kill the Wishmaster? Why waste time? Arrogance lowered his head in silence. Extreme let out a couple of laughs. Because you're arrogant. You enjoy the thrill of crushing your opponents. You want the Wishmaster to struggle in despair. You want to prove you're stronger than everyone else. Arrogance roared. What's wrong with that? Arrogance is just my nature. Extreme turned to look at Sloth. What do you say? Sloth rolled over on the throne. Whatever you guys decide is fine. I can't be bothered. Arrogance struggles to stand up. What do you want? Are you trying to absorb my power? Extreme shakes his head vigorously. It's not just what I want, it's what we want. As the words fall, the ground suddenly starts to shake. Wrath's furious figure emerges. Arrogance's voice starts to tremble. You can't. As he says this, he suddenly raises his right hand. The purple crystal in his palm bursts out with a dazzling light. At this moment, Sloth's voice comes from the throne. Save it, Arrogance. Only then does he realize. His feet are already wrapped in inertia.
His power has stopped flowing. He desperately tries to activate the golden stone in his palm.
At this moment, Wrath grabs his head. Then the giant hand suddenly tightens. Arrogance's head is instantly shattered. A scorching force surges violently into the bodies of the three. Meanwhile, I am visiting the soldiers in the camp. The commander in gold armor walks up to me. Master Priest, you're back. We only have about 3,000 soldiers left who can still fight. The rest of our brothers are either severely wounded or have lost their will to fight. I walk up to a young soldier. I place my right hand on his shoulder. What's your name? He slowly raises his head. Does my name even matter? I pat his shoulder gently. It matters, because I want to remember every person who has fought for me. His eyes turn red as he looks at me. Master Priest, My name is Cole. I speak with every soldier, patting each of them on the shoulder. White light seeps into their bodies. The army's morale begins to slowly recover. Then I walk to the center of the camp, facing all the soldiers. I know you're tired. You're afraid we can't win this war. I raise my right hand. A white light gushes out of my palm. It forms a curtain of light covering the entire camp. From this day on, you're no longer defeated soldiers. You are warriors fighting to protect. Every drop of your sweat, every swing of your sword will become hope. The commander in gold armor is the first to kneel on one knee. Then the young soldier named Cole kneels as well. In the end, everyone kneels, willing to give our lives for the priest. The shouts of 7,000 people make the tents tremble. I place both hands on the ground. All beings make a wish. A white light from the divine domain rises. It seeps into the earth through my palms, on every person, leaving a mark of wish that will never fade. Then the system notification sounds in my mind. Divine domain has evolved into Wish Bastion. Within range, all army base stats increase by 360. I look toward the east. At this moment, Extreme's aura is devouring the sky. The system alarms haven't stopped these past days. Extreme's forces have taken over the east. Civilians are being forcibly implanted with Extremity, turning them into his nourishment. Wrath's forces have bloodily swept through the south. He massacred 30,000 civilians. His power increased by 3,000 points. Sloth's forces have infiltrated the north. 70,000 people have fallen into a deep sleep. Their life force is being continuously drained. I watch as humanity disappears before my very eyes. They're actually eating people. Now, the three's powers have already tripled. At that moment, the high priest sends me a message, saying that the kingdom's northern villages have been completely massacred. I go up onto the city wall. I see refugees lining up in long lines at the city gate. All their eyes look dull and empty. I immediately float into the air. Here, as the wish priest, I promise you all what you have lost. I will help you reclaim. I cannot bring back the dead, but I can give you one thing, and that is hope. With that, I raise my right hand. White light streams from my palm, falling onto each and every person. A system notification rings in my mind. The number of wishmakers is slowly rising. An old man raises his wooden staff. Master Priest, I believe in you. Then a second person, until the number breaks through 150,000. The cross-shaped tattoo on my chest starts to burn. System notification sounds in my mind. Ding Priest's power restored to 69%. Miracle detected. Conditions met. Wish Priest's hidden skill unlocked. Flame of hope. All Wishmaker's combat power increases by 360%. Then I press both hands to the ground. The white light condenses into a ball of fire, igniting hope in everyone's hearts. The next day, countless followers gather on the plains outside Ashentown. All soldiers raise their shields at the same time. I raise my hand to cast Divine Domain. A white light envelops the entire army. All soldiers' stats are boosted. The massive army of followers throw themselves against the wall of light. Purple blood corrodes the surface of the light wall. I press my palms together. White light gathers in my palms and spreads in all directions. The bodies of the struck followers shrink rapidly. I then look up toward the depths of Ashentown. At this moment, a figure stands on the temple roof. That's Envy. I flash like white lightning to the temple. Envy's lips curve into a smile. You finally made it. Then, countless purple chains form in his palm, firing at me. I dodge to the side. My right hand forms a spear of light and I hurl it at him. Extreme teleports instantly. Only an afterimage remains in the air. You're too slow. Extreme domain activated. In the next second, the gravel beneath my feet turns into spikes. One immediately raised a golden shield, feeling the heartbeats of 270,000 people. My senses, amplified by wish resonance, break through their limits. I fire a quick attack at Envy. A ball of white light pierces straight through the purple seed in his palm. Envy is sent flying backwards. Then he transforms to look just like me. A system alert immediately rings in my mind. Ding. Seed of Envy destroyed. Envy's core damaged by 15%. Ability analysis. Mirror parasite. It can temporarily copy and distort other people's abilities. Replication completion. 73%. Then Extreme gathers white light in his palm. Divine Domain's white curtain spreads from his palm, enveloping the entire temple. The ground begins to rot. Gravity triples as well. Extreme, wearing my face, looks down on me. Your ability is pretty interesting.
He conjures up
A white spear of light in his hand and stabs it into his own shoulder. I look down. I see the same wound he's got appear on my own shoulder. He pulls out the spear, then stabs his own thigh with it. I collapse onto the ground. He looks around. Your soldiers are still waiting for you, but you can't even stand up.
He snaps his fingers.
And I see the battlefield, where Cole's left hand is already severed, but he's still swinging his sword with his right. There are over a dozen followers lying at his feet. Extreme stands nearby watching me. As long as you give me all the lengths of all beings wish, you'll be free. Isn't it easier to live as an ordinary person? I forced myself to stand up. The prayers of all beings are not my power. They belong to everyone. White light gathered in my palm once again. Countless strands of light pierced through Jiddu's mirror domain, directly connecting to everyone on the battlefield. Jiddu's expression changed. That's impossible. Jiddu's mirror domain began to shatter, revealing his true face. I raised my right hand. White light in my palm formed into a sword. Your power was never your own. It always came from others. But my power is lent to me by them. I swung the sword down. Jiddu's body split in half. Countless purple light particles burst from within him, scattering across every corner of Ash Town. The lightsaber in my hand shattered with it. A system voice chimed in my mind. Congratulations on the kill. Jiddu's wish god's power recovered to 88%. All attributes reached 88,000. I gasped for breath. Just then, the eastern sky was torn open by a giant hand.
It was Wrath.
The ground beneath his feet cracked with every step. A whole army followed behind him. On everyone's chest was embedded a dark red crystal. I saw orange-red steam spew from his chest. The 3,000 followers behind him roared together. In the next instant, he charged at the temple. I propped myself up with both hands. A white light shield rose in front of the temple, blocking Wrath. With a single punch, he shattered the barrier. Then he slowly walked toward me. At that moment, the golden-armored commander rammed into Wrath from the side. The energy lance pierced Wrath's side. Wrath retaliated with a backhand slap and sent the golden-armored commander flying. Kerr limped toward us. The commander and Wrath turned to look at Kerr. Since you're not afraid to die, then go die. Kerr's figure twisted in the firelight. The more than 200 battered soldiers behind him instantly raised their shields and rushed to stand in front of Kerr. Seeing this, white light surged from my palm once more, pouring what little strength I had left into the bodies of those 200-plus soldiers. Even so, Kerr and the remaining soldiers were still knocked flying. At this moment, a cloud of gray mist seeped from Sloth's sleeve. Once the gray mist spread, everything stopped moving out of sheer laziness. Even the wind ceased. A system notification immediately rang out in my mind. Ding, detected the domain of Sloth. Everything within the area is affected. All beings' speed is reduced by 90%. I saw all the followers come to a standstill. Even Wrath's movements became slow. He turned to look at Sloth and said, "What are you doing?" Sloth ignores him. He just extends a finger. A gray mist gathers in his palm, forming a bead, slowly drifting toward me. I see my own movements becoming sluggish. I quickly summon the power of my cross tattoo. A white light flashes on my chest, but it quickly fades. Sloth's eyes droop. It's useless. The more you try to defeat me, the heavier your laziness becomes. At that moment, the system prompts me. Ding, the wishing link for all beings is breaking. The host's wishes. Divine priest power declining. My eyelids grow heavier. The cross tattoo on my chest is getting cold. From a distance, I hear Cole calling out, "Divine priest." But I can't move my mouth. Sloth walks up to me. "You've already done enough. 970,000 people were saved because of you. 7 deadly sins. You've killed 5 of them. Sleep." As his words fall, my consciousness rapidly sinks. The light from my cross tattoo has completely vanished. Wrath's left hand clenches into a fist and swings toward me. Just then, countless white threads of light gather from all directions. It's the light of hope from everyone in this world, all connected at this moment, rushing straight into my body. The system alert explodes in my mind. Ding! Massive wish resonance detected. Number of wishers 3.6 billion. Faith concentration has exceeded the threshold. All beings echo is triggered. The cross tattoo on my chest burns hot again. Sloth's outstretched finger trembles. The gray mist is swept away by the white torrent. Wrath's fist is tangled by threads of white light. No matter how hard he tries, he can't bring it down. The white dragon formed from prayers of light charges straight at him. A deafening explosion. Wrath's huge body is sent reeling back. The dark red crystal in his chest flashes violently. I slowly stand up. Sloth tilts his head. Gray mist gathers again in his hand. The more you resist, the heavier your laziness grows. Hearing that, I curl my lips into a smile. This time is different, because I'm not alone. I close my eyes, listening to countless heartbeats. Then I stretch out my arms. White light bursts from my chest. The cross tattoo spins on my chest. White light tears through Sloth's gray mist. He raises both hands and swings them, forming a barrier in front of him. But it instantly starts to dissolve bit by bit. Sloth's voice is no longer calm. That's impossible. How could you possibly have this kind of power? In the next moment, a white flame gathers in my palm. You forgot to count one thing. That's the fire of hope in people. It can never be extinguished. I throw the flame at Sloth. The gray mist ignites. Sloth turns to run away, but it's already too late. The flames consume his body bit by bit. The system alert rings in my mind. Ding! Congratulations to the host for killing Sloth. Divine Priest's wish power restored to 94%. All attributes reach 94,000. The wishing link for all beings is stable. At this moment, Wrath bursts out from the white light. He lets out a low, deep roar, slamming his fist into the ground, creating cracks. Magma flows up from below. Wrath's body swells to the height of 10 stories. Then he brings his fist crashing down. I raise both my hands. A shield of light forms overhead from the white glow. The shockwave flips everything within 100 yards. But I don't fall, because countless people are wishing for me. Wrath throws another punch, but I've already vanished. Instantly, I reappear behind him. A blade of light forms in my hand. I drive it straight into the back of his neck. Wrath lets out a painful, agonized screech. He turns around with difficulty. The crystal shards in his chest are forced out by the white light. Finally, Wrath drops to his knees before me. The system alert sounds in my mind. Ding. Congratulations on killing Wrath. Divine Priest's wish power restored to 100%. All attributes reach 1 million. The next moment, white light blasts up to the sky. Sunlight shines on everyone, and I stand in the light.